Hello, welcome back. So the video is uploading. Start to get late. It's 11:50 p.m. and I did find few more. That's the Mercedes-Benz W132, but I don't think it's part of the E-Class. But before I read about this Mercedes-Benz W110, I will do this one, and I find the two engine Mercedes-Benz OM 636 engine and 621. So I will read this before I do the W. So, but let's get started because it's late. It's almost midnight. It's too late. You know, it's not too late to me, but I'm not living in a house with a garden around. I'm living in a small apartment. I have people living all around me, and they are not pension. They need to go to work. They need to get up early in the morning. Is what day it is? It's Thursday tomorrow. I have to go to work to make money to pay a rent apartment and food and bills and debts. So this will be the last one for tonight because I cannot do this to like 1 or 2 a.m. tonight. I could do that, but I'm not doing it because I'm not living alone here. I will do it if I had a small house. I will do it to 4 o'clock in the morning. Then I will play some loud music. So I'm not listening so much to music anymore because I'm not drinking alcohol. I right now have a long break from drinking beers. So let's read this.
Mercedes-Benz W136. Mercedes 170 Vane Alter Daimler im Hohenven.jpg. 4-door Mercedes-Benz 170 Overview Manufacturer Mercedes-Benz Production 1935 1955 1935 1942 75,006 units 1947 1955 83,190 units Assemblage Gemini, Stuttgart, Argentina, Buenos Aires. Body and chassis glass midsize luxury forward/executive car, E. Body style 4-door sedan 4-door cabrio limousine 2-door 2 and 4-seater cabriolets 2-door roadster 2-door pickup 4-door van layout for layout powertrain engine 1697 ccm 136i4, 1935 to 1950. 1767 ccm 136i4, 1950 to 1953. Dimensions wheelbase 2,845 mm, 112 in, length 4,270 mm, 168.1 in, 1, width 1,570 mm, 62 in, most pre-war body types 1,580 mm, 62 in, most post-war body types 1,630 mm, 64 in. From 1950 chronology predecessor Mercedes-Benz W15 successor Mercedes-Benz. The Mercedes-Benz W136 was Mercedes-Benz's main line of inline 4-cylinder motor cars from the mid-1930s into the 1950s. The Model 170V made its public debut as successor to the W15 TYP 170 in February 1936. Between 1936 and 1939 it was Mercedes' top-selling model. 3. Between 1936 and 1942 over 75,000 were built. 4, making it by far the most popular Mercedes-Benz model up till that point. Enough of the W136's tooling survived Allied bombing during World War II, or could be recreated post-war, for it to serve as the foundation upon which the company could rebuild. By 1947 the Model 170V had resumed its place as Mercedes' top seller, a position it held until 1953. 2. The V in the 170V's name was an abbreviation of Vaughan, front, added to differentiate it from the contemporary rear-engined Mercedes-Benz 170H, W128, H4 Heck, rear, which used the same four-cylinder 1697cc engine, but positioned at the back of the car. Contents: engine, bodywork options. 1935-1942-170 VKQ Bellway Gen. 1946-1955-170S. Police Special. 1950 Upgrade. 1952 Upgrade. 1953 Upgrade. Model numbers. Gallery. Timeline. References. External links. Engine. The 1.7-litre four-cylinder rear-wheel drive Mercedes-Benz 170V, W136, was introduced in 1936 to replace the 1.7-litre six-cylinder Mercedes-Benz 170, W15. Despite their similar engine capacities, the new car's side-valve M136 was more powerful. The manual transmission was 4-speed synchronous, having been upgraded from synchronous in only the top two ratios in 1940. Claimed maximum power was 38 PS, 28 kilowatts, 37 HP, at 3,400 RPM at an initial compression ratio of 6:1.5. Mileage was 10 liters per 100 kilometers, 28 miles per gallon imp, 24 miles per gallon US. The engine was attached using just two mountings and set their standard for smoothness for four-cylinder motors. Bodywork options. W120/W121 Mercedes-Benz W191. Mercedes-Benz 170V Cabrio limousine. Most of the cars produced, and an even higher proportion of those that survive, were two- or four-door limousine, saloon forward/sedan, bodied cars, but the range of different body types offered in the 1930s for the 170V was unusually broad. A four-door Cabrio limousine combined the four doors of four-door limousine with a full-length fold-away canvas roof. 6. Both the four-door bodies were also available adapted for taxi work, with large luggage racks at the back. There was a two-door two-seater cabriolet and a two-door four-seater cabriolet B, both with luggage storage behind the seats and beneath the storage allocation of the hood when folded, but without any external lid for accessing the luggage from outside the car. A common feature of the 170V bodies was external storage of the spare wheel on the car's rear panel. 6. The two-seater Roadster featured a large flap behind the two seats with a thinly upholstered rear partition, and which could be used either as substantial luggage platform or as an additional, uncomfortable, bench. The mother-in-law seat. In addition to the wide range of passenger car-bodied 170Vs, a small commercial variant was offered, either as a flatbed truck or with a box body on the back. Special versions of the 170V were offered, adapted for use as ambulances or by the police, mountain rescue services and military. 1935-1942. The 170V based Type G5, W152, with four-wheel drive and steering. The first 2 years' production had the Mercedes star mounted directly on the grille. The radiator cap was mounted beneath the bonnet. In 1937 the grille was changed and the star now sat atop the radiator cap. The pre-war production of W136 cars and light commercials was around 90,000. Production ended in 1942 as all efforts were directed towards the war. Already in 1939 a wood gas-powered model called the 170 VG was presented as the result of petrol becoming largely unavailable for civilian purposes. The generator was mounted on three, meaning that the spare wheel had to be relocated to the roof. Thus equipped, the engine produced only 22 PS, 16 kilowatts, at 3,200 RPM, enough for a top speed of 80 km/h, 50 miles per hour. Mercedes-Benz also made the gas generator available as a kit for installation on existing automobiles. As well as cars for private use, Mercedes-Benz also developed a few special models. There was the 1935 170 VG, an all-wheel drive staff vehicle, Q-Wagen, with the internal model code W1333. 62 were ordered for tastes, but it lost out to Steyer's competing design for a light Einheitsp KW and none more were made. In 1936 here was also three-wheel steered, and four-wheel drive, 170 VL, W139, on a shortened chassis. Again, the Wehrmacht opted out and only 42 were built. In 1937 Mercedes-Benz tried a third time and developed the G5, W152. Developed from the 170 VL and fitted with the larger engine also used in the 200V, see below. This was also not picked up by the German armed forces. Mercedes-Benz presented it at the 1938 British International Motor Show instead, offering it with no doors, with half doors, or with full doors. 378 exemplars were built from 1938 until 1941, nearly all were exported. 1938 Mercedes-Benz 170 VS front left, Greenwich 2019, in the 1930s. Various reliability trials /rallies were made popular by the Nazi regime to stimulate development of light cross-country vehicles. To compete in these, Mercedes-Benz developed a lightweight, two-seat roadster with magnesium and aluminium bodywork details. Weighing in at 260 kilograms, 570 pound, less than the regular model, the 170 VR appeared in 1936 and was also used the next year. The 170 VR had a standard engine and rear-wheel drive train, but did benefit from stronger suspension, larger wheels, and different gearing. Subsequent to the Austrian annexation, the 1938 edition of the prestigious Austrian Alpine Rally was called the Deutsche Alpenfahrt, German Alpine Rally. Mercedes-Benz felt obliged to update their entry and produced the 170 VS, sometimes called SV. This received a 1912cc engine with single or twin carburetors and 50 or 60 PS, 37 or 44 kilowatts, at 3,600 RPM according to fitment. In 1940 the 2007cc 200V, model code W149. This had a 2007cc engine producing either 53 or 64 PS, 39 or 47 kilowatts, 170 VK Q-Wagen. From 1938 to 1942, Mercedes-Benz built over 19,000 units of the 170V with a Q-Wagen type body, simple open-topped body for military use, for the Wehrmacht, as the 170 VK, making this the second most produced German light open military vehicle of World War II. 7, 8. 1946 to 1955. During the war the Mercedes-Benz plant suffered very severe bomb damage, but the manufacturer nevertheless emerged from the trauma of war with a significant competitive advantage over many of its pre-war competitors. Manufacturers including Adler, BMW and Ford in Germany had been heavily dependent for the supply of steel car bodies on Ambibart, whose Berlin plant was destroyed by bombing in 1943. Its site now ended up in the Soviet occupation zone, subsequently East Germany. The manufacturing plants of Hawk, Wanderer and BMW were located in what in July 1945 became the Soviet-controlled part of Germany. None of these manufacturers could resume volume production without first finding a way to obtain and fund a source of steel car bodies and access to a suitable plant for auto assembly. Mercedes-Benz, however, retained ownership of and access to its car plant. Production restarted in May 1946. The vehicles produced were versions of the 170V, but in 1946 only 214 vehicles were produced and they were all light trucks or ambulances. 3. Passenger car production resumed in July 1947. But volumes were still very low, with just 1,045 170 VS produced that year. There was no return for the various open-topped models from the 1930s. Customers for a Mercedes-Benz 170V passenger car were restricted to the four-door limousine sedan forward/saloon-bodied car. Production did ramp up during the next couple of years, and in 1949 170V production returned to above 10,000 cars. 3. From May 1949 the car, badged in this permutation as the Mercedes-Benz 170D, was offered with an exceptionally economical 38 PS, 28 kilowatt, 37 HP, diesel engine. 9. The 170D was the world's third diesel-fueled passenger car, and the first to be introduced after the war. 170S. Lacking a luxury car in its lineup, Mercedes sought to regain a niche in that market by introducing the upscale 170S, W191, version of the 170V in 1949. It was more luxurious, costlier and, when launched, slightly larger than the 170V, distinctions the company made an effort to emphasize. Though sometimes referred to today as the first S-Class Mercedes-Benz, that designation did not yet exist. A pair of 170S derivations followed, the 170SB and 170DS diesel models, earning the 170S series its own chassis code, W191. The 170S series retained the separate internal designation until the 1953 introduction of Mercedes' new W120 180 Ponton, whence 170S was downsized to the 170VS body, while retaining the 170S more powerful motor. This hybrid was given the designation 170SV, and repositioned below the 180 in the company lineup. 10. Production of the 170SV ended in 1955. The Mercedes-Benz 170SV and 170SD were also built briefly in Argentina from 1952 to 1955 in sedan, taxi, pickup and van versions. 11. Police Special. Mercedes-Benz 170 DOTP Police Special, 1951 to 1952. In 1951 and 1952 Mercedes-Benz produced a 170 DOTP version, 12, for police use. Guise was effectively a four-door cabriolet, although the hood was of rather a thin material and basic structure when compared to the 170 cabriolets of the 1930s. It was a requirement that all the cars should be painted in police green, but in the end most of the cars delivered to police were painted blue. Although the car was provided only for the use of official bodies, it incorporated several technical and other features, including for the first time on a 170 car a trunk forward/boot accessible from the outside via a hinged lid, which soon afterwards appeared on other upgraded W136s. A single one known to have been painstakingly fully restored in the United States is the closest to factory original in existence today. A fully restored OTP sold to a private collector fetched north of €350,000 in 2000.